I have always been a curious guy. I think I have been asking questions my whole life, and I sometimes get in trouble because of that. But the three questions that have been bugging me the most lately is well, the first one is, what do women really want? I mean, I remember that Mel Gibson movie that was very good, by the way. I enjoyed it a lot. And you know what they say? We can't live without them, and we can't live with them, but we are trying to deal with it, right? Do something about it. The second question I want to ask is, why is funk music so groovy and catchy? I mean, I've been into funk lately and I just can't get enough of it for some reason. There must be a reason, but I don't have the musical knowledge to that. And the third question I want to ask is, why hasn't Anthony Fauci been prosecuted yet? Because that's something that is my mind is boggled. I can understand Bill Gates, right? He is next top tier level, next level Bond villain, but we have so many reasons to see this guy behind bars, and he is still being invited to, for example, this forum, this kind of interview from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, in which he was very gleeful. He was very joyful and happy and yes, had this shine in his eyes when he was reminiscing about the time that he was finding out that there was this new disease that later would be AIDS, with the HIV virus, and well, he was actually delighted. There was a new disease out there. I couldn't believe. You know how I've told you many times, if you are on X or on Facebook or on YouTube, you should always go beyond the headline, the title, and watch the video yourself. So that's what we are going to do. And we are not going to analyze how evil this guy really is, but also his body language, because, well, this is the body language guy channel as well. Let's watch there, so you will realize that this is not a hyperbole.
In 1981, this MMWR landed on my desk reporting 5 young gay men from Los Angeles with a strange pneumonia that I was very familiar with because I had my boards in infectious diseases. I was seeing a lot of infectious disease cases as a consult, even though my basic bench research was immunology. I was clinically an infectious disease person. So I saw these cases and I said, boy, this is unusual. Why are all gay men, and why were they previously healthy, and why pneumocystis? I put it aside, thought it was a fluke.
Yeah, the first part sounds like a reasonable person, right? Somebody who, if I didn't know who Anthony Fauci was, I would say, okay, he was that is the genuine curiosity of what is going on, because essentially any scientist, and we got to say that this guy has a scientific career, okay, you like it or not, that has been his career. Any scientist is interested in puzzles and solving problems, and that, okay, this pops up, this is like this mystery, and you don't necessarily have to be a scientist for that. You can be a like normie like me, and you enjoy, I don't know, Doctor House, which is one of my favorite TV shows ever, but the puzzles and the medical mysteries, I think it was brilliant. At least the first 3 seasons. My first 3 seasons are my favorite. But then it takes a darker turn, especially in terms of his demeanor and behavior and body language.
1 month later, in July of 1981, the next MMWR landed on my desk. Now, 26, curiously, more than curiously, amazingly, all young, previously healthy gay men who presented not only with pneumocystis, but with other opportunistic infections and Kaposi sarcoma. And, it was the first time, and, not the only, but close to the only time in my scientific and medical career that I looked at it and I actually got goosebumps. I said, oh my God, this is a brand new disease. Like, whenever is there a brand new disease?
Yes, goosebumps. And goosebumps, not in the, I have this sense of dread of what is coming. No, goosebumps is that, oh my God, this is so great. What is going on? People have this brand new disease and maybe they're going to die. We still don't know when. Yes, narrator, spoiler alert. Yeah, a lot of people died. So yes, this was AIDS, this was HIV, and you can tell from his body language. You're going to mute this. You already heard his words. But I'm going to show you that last part in which he talks about that finding, how he speaks, with the open and broad elbows, making himself bigger. It was, although there was a bit of a contradiction with his feet. He was a bit insecure in general, but that was throughout the whole interview. But the upper part of his body was quite open. And then in that way, focus on his face, he was talking about recollecting, oh, there was this brand new disease just popping up. And you see the way his expression, the way that his facial expressions manifest in his face is not like, okay, this is something bad, but he's almost gleeful about that in so many ways. Now, I can understand one part of that. I can understand that there's a sinister angle to leading with diseases, right? And leading with, let's say, medical mysteries. You sometimes might get, used to the usual stuff. But I don't know. I am not a medical scientist, of course. Nowhere near that. I'm just interested in, how these things are solved. But I have questions about how do people, the scientists can imagine that, okay, there are enough diseases already. There should be a way to get rid of them and maybe eradicate them completely. Like I think it's smallpox has been eradicated completely. That is great. But by the way, you still ask the question, it has been eradicated, but still 2 strains saved and left in, there's huge vaults where they are like there's superhero villains waiting to be unleashed, like Demolition Man somewhere in the future for some reason. But well, I guess research and science require it. Isn't that enough to try to find the best cures to the current diseases, or maybe even eradicate them completely? Isn't that enough of a challenge, enough of a mystery for these people to, focus on that instead of being gleeful and having goosebumps when a new one appears, like a Pokemon out of nowhere? A Pokemon appears out of nowhere in nature. That is that is my question, has been my genuine question. And it was my genuine question when I made my video about, well, what's been one of the best videos. I'm very proud of it, of the video I made on Anthony Fauci and his most infamous experiment, and how these people like to play God with a gain of function, which I said in that video is one of the worst ideas in the history of humankind. And humans, we are the ones who invented dangling baby cages. Yeah, you have to watch that video. Again, I still don't know how Anthony Fauci hasn't been prosecuted yet, how it hasn't happened. But again, the evilness that is out there, not only him, but out there, is something concerning. And the most concerning thing is that so many people are still celebrating this madman, not precisely the John Hamm stuff. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss.